Look at the yogurt, ghee. So we know that ghee also people make in an unhealthy way. They take from the cattle butchering shop. From cattle, they take the fat. As I mentioned earlier, that product is what they melt and add as ghee and sell it. Not only cows, pig fat, other fats are also used, and dalda like hydrogenated fats are also used. How do we know whether the ghee is of good quality or not? They say A2. First of all, we don't know whether that is really A2 or A1 pure ghee. We don't know whether that ghee is also adulterated with the dalda and other things. So that is how we started, and with bacteria we have understood whether we are able to find real good ghee or not. So again, this is what we call it as prebiotics. So I will now go for question answers from you, because this is a big topic, but I wanted to quickly tell some testings that we are doing so that people in India as well as in US or other countries can also make use of AMA genomics testing facility. So we test for gut bacteria from diabetic people. We also test for polyphenols. All this is to help people who are continuously taking diabetes medication and blood pressure medication, cancer medication without cure. It is once they stop the medication, the disease comes. But real cure of Ayurveda and Siddha and naturopathy is to completely cure the disease. And even when stopping the medication, it should not come back, like the psoriasis person I showed. So that is why we started doing all this work and testing. And we see that the food, tomorrow I'm going to give another talk, very shocking evidences we are getting from the fruits, vegetables, everything we get from the market, and what really farmers grow, huge difference. Same time, but I will be talking in Tamil, because first I want to address the farmers here in Tamil Nadu. Maybe if there is an interest, I will give in English after. Go for it. Very sorry that I don't tell brands, because I cannot tell in public. The reason is because the people who are adulterating, they may be angry on us. So that is the reason we started another company called Urj Certification. If time permits, I will share a couple of slides. The reason is because that becomes a separate entity, and that is a certification where a company or a seller, see, this is the reason why we started Urj. We told many of these companies that please send us your samples officially. I unofficially tested to see for my family which is the best. But officially, I wanted many people to be benefited. So I told these milk selling companies, why don't you send officially to our company and get it tested? And so you can tell your customers that you can trust our milk, that it is pure A2, not adulterated, not homogenized, and also it is of good quality feed, that is grass is given, all that. But to be frank, none of these companies have come forward, which shows that they are fearing that they cannot. But all of them are unfortunately approved by government and even organic certification, which is the topic tomorrow I'm going to talk, because organic certification, it is only based on question answer, not on testing. So if a A2 milk company applies for organic certification through phone or paperwork, they will ask, is it A2 cow? They will say, yes, sir. Then they write, yes, approved. And that is how they give the certification. But Urj certification is not based on question answer. They have to give the milk, and physically it has to come to the AMA genomics lab. We have to test it. We will give the result and then only certify. So these are the challenge we have in our society now. Even in US, that is the case. Some people have sent the samples from US. They brought milk, which will get spoiled. So they brought yogurt. We said that is enough. 1 teaspoon of yogurt they brought. We have given collection tubes to them through their friends. So it will not get spoiled and no bacteria will spread. So they brought in that and we tested. And most of them, to tell the truth, it is all A1, A2 mix. It is because genetic crossbred has happened with these animals. So genetically they are not, pure A2 also, some of, or whatever we tested. So to answer your question, I cannot tell in public because they are not certified and I don't have an official proof to tell the proof. I cannot release a result that has been unofficially done because tomorrow that company can say we never, this lab is doing fraud. They are spreading false information. But if it comes officially from them, then we can say, look, this company has sent officially for testing and we have tested. I hope I conveyed the message. Why testing is very important. Without testing, I cannot tell results because it will give a projection that I am just trying to be biased, spreading false rumors, which is not my intention. So it has to come officially for testing.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is there any home test where people can do just to make sure at least whatever they are using is good?
Yeah, you're talking about the home-based kit, right?
Yeah, a home-based kit, whatever home-based test, whatever people can use, right? Because
see, home-based kit are not meant for 100% accuracy. It is only for convenience to get some sort of an idea. See, we all do home testing, glucose measurement and pressure and all. But it becomes very correct and accurate when we do in a lab. That's why we all do it in a lab. Even COVID testing or any testing, HIV, anything, there are a lot of kits, but they say that it is not accurate. It may give false results. But PCR test, having undergone COVID situation, we all know the gold standard is PCR test. So in Amma Genomics, we don't use strip test or antibody mediated test for A1, A2. We do only PCR test because that's the only accurate gold standard approved all over the world. And we know that it does not give false positive. We have used the homemade test and we checked. It gives false positive or false negative also, meaning it might be A1 mixed, but it will show not detected. So that is why it is not 100% accurate. You can just get an idea, that's it.
Pradeepji, one minute, Prabhuji. Pradeepji, did you cover the topic, why should we boil the milk? I don't know whether just come in the topic or not.
Correct. Very good question.
The kids in the US, they drink cold milk.
Very, very wrong thing.
To boil it.
Yeah, in Indian tradition, we never drink raw milk. We only boil and drink. The reason is because very scientific is our tradition. When the milk comes out of the cow, like our breast milk where I showed scientific data, so many thousands of bacteria are there. Cow's milk also is there. Some of them are not good for our intestine because our body gut bacteria is different from the cow's gut bacteria. So we kill all these bacteria and then only we drink. That is one reason. And second is that these proteins, apart from proteins, there are hormones in the cow that it produces to stimulate the growth of the calf. When we drink raw milk, that hormone is going to stimulate growth, unwanted growth in our body also. So cancer or over breast development, or girls can and boys can attain puberty very young. Even now I am shocked to hear in US second standard girl, third standard girl getting age attaining puberty. It is because of drinking this unboiled milk. People are having, very sorry to say, no awareness. They don't understand what is pasteurization and boiling. Pasteurization is to kill most dangerous bacteria like staphylococcus bacteria. So they heat shock only for 1 to 2 minutes at 60 degrees, whereas boiling we do it for 10-15 minutes at 100 degrees. So we not only kill microorganisms, we also destroy hormones that will affect us. So people think pasteurization means like boiling, and people used to argue with me, and I just leave them because they think they are very knowledgeable. Without reading papers, they are having their own assumptions. It is not correct. So we have to boil milk, whether it is pasteurized or unpasteurized, we have to boil milk. Homogenized milk, already I showed the scientific data not to use homogenized, but maybe the doctor said whole milk. Whole milk is good rather than the low fat milk or no fat milk. So maybe the person misunderstood. I think no doctors will say drink only homogenized because they know that homogenized milk is not good. Maybe he or she suggested whole milk. So ask them to double check.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And also some of the participants are also asking, instead of like having dairy milk, how about we?
Yeah, coconut milk or almond milk, soy milk is safe. See, the substitutes are good, but first coconut milk, if we prepare, of course in India we make kheer with coconut milk. All that is very, very good. Almond milk, very good. Soy milk to some extent, but the soy milk is not really, really good, but they promote, the corporates promote it. The corporates promote it because they want to sell more soy, but soy milk has got many estrogens, so it is not that great. But definitely coconut milk and almond milk, if you can make at home, which takes only few minutes. Having lived in US, I and my wife used to make almond milk, just soaking in the almonds previous night. Next day, just quickly put almond with the dates, make like a juice type, milk type. It takes only few minutes, and it is extremely delicious because it is sweetened with the dates. So go for that. Don't try to buy the market product because they add preservatives. Otherwise, the almond milk you make at home, by evening it will get spoiled. How come these don't get spoiled in the store? Is because they add preservatives which are not good.
Sir, I would like to know about if this milk has a problem. So is it okay to use a sheep's milk, goat milk, and in yogurt form also, and they say it's organic in whole food store? So is it good or not?
Very good question. So what the research found is our mother's milk is A2 because of that BCM protein is not formed. So it is our mother's milk is A2. Sheep, goat, buffalo, camel, all these are A2. Only A1 is these modern cows, hybrid cows, they are A1. So of course you make buffalo also. Traditionally in India we use buffalo milk, goat milk. These are all good, but there is some extremely good qualities of cow's milk that makes it better than the other milk. I don't want to show more scientific details, but in this slide I skipped it. they have compared cow's milk, sheep milk, buffalo milk, and human based on the bacteria. Most closest, if you can look at the slide now that I've shown, the bottom one on the right shows human, and then buffalo, sheep, and cow. For buffalo, the human most closest is the cow. Buffalo, in some level, it is correct. Sheep is totally very, very different. So, meaning that is why our ancient people chose cow rather than sheep or goat. It doesn't harm, but there are some positive benefits in cow's milk. So if you don't get A1, A2 milk, better go for buffalo milk or goat's milk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, someone is asking, is it okay not to take milk at all? Like,
Not to?
take milk.
Yeah, that also is a good question. See, I skipped some of the slides in the beginning. Our gut, when we come out of our mother's womb, our gut is colonized by lactobacillus. So the milk is which makes the lactobacillus and bifidobacteria to grow more and keep our body healthy. But the moment we start with solid food, this lactobacillus decreases. Then what happens is there will be a lot of health issues. That is why we age. So it is better to keep the lactobacillus levels always high. So that is the reason why in India, our ancient people were very knowledgeable, very intelligent. As I mentioned earlier, North Indians and South Indian, every day they will take yogurt, dahi in North India, and in South India, every meal in the end we don't start with the yogurt because we don't want our stomach acids to kill the bacteria. Look how intelligent we are. We start with dal, rasam, even porridge, then finally only we eat the yogurt, so that we will keep our gut bacteria healthy. A2 milk gut bacteria, derived gut bacteria is very good. So it is good to eat that. But there are vegans who try to even keep themselves healthy. But then they have to put more effort in having a food that is balanced so that they are able to increase more of lactic acid bacteria by eating more fiber-rich food. So to answer your question, you can avoid milk, but there are benefits. So otherwise the ancient people would not have done, and even modern research is showing that dairy is very good only.
Yeah, adding to this question, one other devotee asked, like, instead of using milk, why can't we go with buttermilk or yogurt?
Yeah, very good question. As I mentioned earlier, that ancient people understood that only when the baby state, when the mother is not having enough milk, or to wean, they gave till the age of 3, they gave the milk. But even before that, they may wean. What I'm saying is, they started with giving with yogurt, and that to buttermilk only we used. Yogurt is again from the Western concept. We did not eat yogurt. We only had buttermilk. But after British came, we started eating yogurt. So again, I'm repeating, milk, they add the culture of bacteria. The bacteria will digest the protein, fat, then they churn it. As we see in Krishna's story, Yashodama, they churn that yogurt, and they separate the fat and the whey proteins. So we drink only the whey protein. The fat is taken separately, melted as ghee. So traditionally we drank only buttermilk, not yogurt. Even now, if you look at the traditional people, they will not eat yogurt, only buttermilk. But Past 100 years after British came, we started following their way of eating yogurt.
Balan.
Yes, please.
Namaskaram, Pradivata. I have a follow-up question on the previous discussion about the testing part. I think you brought up the point that the USDA organic certification is not based on testing, it is based on question answer. Whereas URG certification is based on testing. So follow-up question on that is, when samples are, it is mainly to educate more people, producers of
please.
How often URG testing is getting done, or when a seller is getting URG certified, how long that certification is valid, how often that certification has to be renewed.
Correct.
To make sure that they are not just sending one-time good sample.
Correct.
And stick to the correct process.
Very good question. Tomorrow I'll answer that if you attend, but I will give briefly. Yes, URG certification in 5 levels. One-time testing, we will mention it was only tested one time. Second time follow-up without the, we take from the market. Suppose a seller is selling milk, then he might get the first level of certification and the customer will be notified this level of certification is only one time we have done, but whatever in the shelf it is there, we do not know. But then we give the seller the second level where we will, without the knowledge of the seller, we will randomly take from the market like a customer, and we take it to URG and test and make sure they are really giving the same milk as they send for testing. So that is the second level. We have like that 5 levels of testing so that the quality is 100% guaranteed. I think very good question. I already answered in the talk. Maybe they didn't attend the earlier part. That is correct. Now the A1, as we have seen, it is a BCM protein that is being formed. It damages our intestine, cause leaky gut syndrome. Many bad bacteria can enter into our blood and cause several diseases. Inflammation, all these problems will happen. The moment we stop these type of peptides or protein, mutated protein in the form of milk enters into our system, when we stop it, we are free from inflammation and all these diseases. That's what they all, like many people, I'm glad to hear that another family is also finding the same view, that Kangayam milk, when they used, which is a native cow, there was no problem, but when they switched over to other A1 milk, they had problem, which is very correct.
Thank you, Pradipji. Hare Krishna, Raghuji, healer Raghu, Slimmy.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Pradipji.
Good evening.
So, is there any scientific research is going on the bucket on compensating drinking any of milk, but at the end of the day, taking something called a triphala may help to compensate whatever the guts bacteria which is failed, or maybe to overcome the side effects like that. Is there any research going on in your screen or something like that? And adding to another one, taking buttermilk with salt and without salt, is that making any sense? How do you see this?
Very good question. So the first one is we take something bad and then we are trying to correct it. Is not a good approach, but definitely doing cleansing with the triphala and all that is good only. But we have to understand, even 100 years or 500 years back, even in those times when people all took only A2 milk, organic, all the healthy things, still there were diseases, correct? So that is because of karmic and also lifestyle, stress and everything. So they made people to do the cleansing by using triphala and castor oil. All this were done because even though we eat healthy, still our body needs cleansing and all that. So like we might be for a petrol car, we might be adding only petrol, not diesel, because it is cheaper. We still use the petrol, but still there will be complaints, and we have to still do oil change, carburetor cleaning, plug cleaning, etc. and everything. But just because it cleans that, for a petrol car, if you start to add diesel, then it will cause, you cannot tell the mechanic or the company that though we got the petrol, your car is meant for only for petrol, we have started adding diesel, but we have started to do cleaning and all that. Will they accept it? They will say, no, it is a nonsense you are doing. The cleaning is meant only for the normal maintenance, not for something that should be added to the car. The same way is our body. The Triphala and everything will counteract, but it is originally meant for the correction of our system, lifestyle and everything. But now if you are adding all this unwanted stuff into your body and you think that by doing the cleansing you will be well off, but then still the other problems won't be taken care. So ultimately the answer is just avoid that which is damaging the body, and not just thinking that we can correct with some other alternative. Yes, it might correct, but it won't be 100%. Then to your second question, suddenly I got lost. What was the second question?
Yeah, adding salt.
Oh, salt.
Adding the salt with the buttermilk.
Correct. Actually, buttermilk was taken with not only with the salt, ginger, pepper, small onions, curry leaves, coriander leaves. All this again at the 5 levels they give the taste. Good for our Panchindriyas. It will stimulate our brain and also aids in digestion. So the salt addition is good, but very, very small amount they add in a very moderate way. So it is a good way, not only taste, but also aids in digestion as well.
Okay. Thanks for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeepji. I have 2 questions, Pradeepji, like that. You mentioned about polyphenol-rich foods. May I know for few things which we can take to increase our polyphenol, like to have more polyphenols in our diet?
All the plants, the food that we consume, all the foods have polyphenol. But by processing foods, we are removing it. So if you eat unrefined foods, that is good enough to maintain your polyphenol. But to answer your question, tomorrow's session, again I mentioned, it is very, very shocking that I cannot recommend any food from the market because whatever is there already, it is very, very low. I'll give one example. Yesterday we did a test in our home. We have a homegrown banana. It was ready to be cut from the plant. So we cut and we took a piece. And at the same time we went to the market and brought a banana. Both of that we gave it to our Amagenomics staff to test for the polyphenol. We were all shocked. The value of polyphenol in the homegrown was something around 920 or 950. The market one was only 52. So you can imagine that how many fold, more than 40-fold it is low. So if I say eat banana, it will increase polyphenol, I make the correct statement. But people eat banana and they tell, oh, Pradeep said that to eat banana and it will increase polyphenols. It didn't increase. The reason is because the banana that you are eating from the market is of low quality. The polyphenol level is very, very low. Whereas the one that we have homegrown is good. So everybody cannot make now homegrown foods, but like in earlier years, the farmers, they used to grow excellent food. But what happened was we started using fertilizers and everything, damaged like our gut, we damaged the soil. Now there are no good bacteria, there are only bad bacteria in the soil. We also test for soil for farmers and make sure that their produce also will be very, very healthy. So to answer your question, which foods to eat for all foods have polyphenols, but unfortunately now we have come to a point where every food has to be tested, and we are doing. We are tomorrow's list will be exhaustive, more than 150 foods in the market. What we are normally consuming, we are eating. Even some friends are bringing small amounts of things from US and also testing with us. Hope sometime soon in US Amagenomics branch will be opened, where US people also can get it tested and make a very healthy body.